By the way, don't let your age beat you. M-Drive, buymdrive.com, refine your prime. More energy, more stamina. Big announcement here in a couple of minutes. Kyrie Irving came out yesterday, used to play with LeBron, bailed on him. And LeBron James didn't like it because LeBron James thought he was helping Kyrie Irving grow. Kyrie Irving was a one-and-done guy at college, played 8 college games at Duke, couldn't get off campus fast enough. Well, Kyrie Irving is now admitting, yeah, I was kind of learning stuff from LeBron, and maybe I should have been learning more stuff and not trying to get out of town so fast. Here's Kyrie Irving.
It was a big deal for me because I had to call Bron, and tell him, I apologize for being that young player that wanted to everything at his fingertips, and I wanted everything to be at, my threshold. I wanted to be the guy that led us to championship. I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be all that, and the responsibility of being the best player in the world and leading a team is something that's not meant for many people. And Bron was one of those guys that came to Cleveland and tried to really show us what it's like to win a championship, and it was hard for him. And sometimes getting the most out of the group, it's not the easiest thing in the world.
First of all, I like that Kyrie Irving admits it. That's a real sign of maturity. Kyrie Irving, of course, Kyrie Irving is simply a talent and not a leader. The NBA's got a leadership problem. I went to a game last night. It was a bunch of talented players. Who was really a leader? Steph Curry's a leader. Steph Curry grew up with an NBA father and then didn't try to get out of college as soon as he could. If you look at the Golden State Warriors, it's not a coincidence that Steph Curry went to 3 years of college and Klay Thompson 3 and Draymond Green 4 and Andre Iguodala 2. Steve Kerr also a big part of the college experience. But the basketball culture in America, my friends, is broken. The basketball culture in America now is spot a talent in high school and let's get him paid in the pros. College basketball bad. No, it's not. College for all of us, men and women, is the time we grow up. I had to buy my own groceries, get a job and pay for things. I almost flunked out. I wasn't a grown-up. You kind of learn to be a man, and I'll just speak for 19-year-old me. I learned to be a man in college. I had to figure out a checkbook and a budget and do my shopping and do my own clothes. Nobody made my bed. Nobody washed my stuff. College matters. Dwayne Wade taught LeBron how to be a leader in Miami. Until that point, LeBron was just talented. But LeBron joined the Miami Heat. Shane Battier, 4 years of college. Ray Allen, 3 years of college. D. Wade, 3 years of college. Udonis Haslem, 4 years of college. Men, leaders. LeBron, to that point, was just talented. It is then when LeBron became a leader, talked about politics, took vocal tribal opinions that were unpopular to many. That's what being a man is. The NFL has never struggled with this because the NFL culture, the football culture in America, is about developing boys into men. You're 19 years old, you get recruited. The university says you will not play. We will redshirt you. Grow up, get stronger. You will then play 3 to 4 years, come out at 23 years old. Statistically, football players in America get married sooner, older, men leading a family, leading an offensive line. They walk into this league like Russell Wilson, 4 years of college, and J.J. Watt, and they're community leaders overnight. But the basketball culture is simply about find the talent and get it paid. Yesterday, Scottie Pippen submitted to all of us that Zion Williamson should no longer play at Duke. Let's just get him paid. So therefore, Zion Williamson will be a long list of marvelously talented NBA players who have no real leadership skills. Kyrie Irving had 2 opportunities in his life to learn from 2 great leaders, Mike Krzyzewski, and yet he couldn't leave him fast enough, and LeBron James, after Miami, a real leader, and he couldn't leave him fast enough either. I went to an NBA game last night, and when I look at this league, I don't see leaders. I see talent. Kevin Durant's too flaky. James Harden's into James. Same with Westbrook. Kawhi doesn't talk. Steph Curry is a leader, and a big component to that is college, is playing within a system. LeBron was just talented forever. Then he joined a group of players who had been to college, been on their own. Don't be so fast to roll your eyes at the college experience. Yeah, I know. You want to get paid. I get it. And maybe over time the NCAA will figure something out. I'd like to hope they would. But Kyrie Irving had 2 chances in his life to learn how to be a leader. He couldn't exit either fast enough. Now, to some gigantic news. It's Joy Taylor's birthday today.
Aww.
Let's hear it for Joy. Oh.
Thank you, Colin. Happy birthday to Ann also.
My wife's birthday today.
Yes. Oh,
and she's getting the same thing you are.
Thank you. Thank
and
you,
it's Joy Taylor's birthday today. We're not even going to get into specifics on it.
Specifically, I'm turning 21 today. So it's a very big day. I can finally legally drink. I've been waiting for this for a long time.
But the roads are wet in Los Angeles. Wait till tomorrow. It's supposed to dry out.
Yes, it refuses to stop raining here.
It refuses. We literally live in London or Seattle for the last 7 days in Los Angeles.
Well,
anyway,
thank you guys.
You're a great teammate. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
So, 17 years ago, for the first time since that 2001 season, and they know it will be especially loud, and Jared Goff knows that.
Whenever you're in a place like that and it is loud, you obviously can't hear very well and have to use a lot of visual signals and a lot of, visual communication and just be on the screws just that much more. Because you can't really communicate at the line of scrimmage. You can't get things changed much at the line of scrimmage. So in the huddle, just making sure everyone's on the screws and knows what they're doing.
That's a big thing.
It's going to be wild there, for sure. If any team is going to come in there prepared for that, I'm going to go with the Rams just because Sean McVay is so thorough.
Yeah.
I don't know that I haven't been to a Rams game out here. I don't know if it's the same environment, but we do know what it's like at the Superdome.
Yeah, it's hard to win that. There's a reason Tom Brady even doesn't win as much on the road. There's an advantage to playing at home. If you go to a NFL stadium, the really smart fan bases, when their team gets the ball, they don't yell.
Right.
Like Brady, when Brady has the ball in Foxborough, I've been to one of those games. Goulet, you've been to several of those games. When Brady gets the ball in Foxborough, the crowd's quiet. And then when the other team has the ball, the crowd cheers. Like in the Superdome, they figured it out. Saints have the ball, nobody says anything.
Well, I think we kind of are maybe ignoring that home field advantage. I feel we talked about it a lot yesterday with the weather in Kansas City. You gave a very scientific explanation for why it will be difficult for everyone to cheer there. But the environment is more about the energy, because there is a lot of emotions and motivation and energy and momentum and stuff that goes throughout the game. So having the crowd on your side does matter. We ignore that because we're at home. We're not in that space, but it is important. So it's definitely going to play a factor. Yeah. So Mike Tomlin hasn't won a replay challenge in the last 2 seasons. He's 0 for 9. His clock management and his use of timeouts have also been questioned. It's kind of remarkable.
Is that true?
Yes.
He's 0 for 9 on his challenges?
He's not won a challenge in the last 2 seasons.
Wasn't Tom Coughlin bad on challenges? Somebody else that's kind of a legendary coach was bad on challenges.
Well, Atlanta hired a clock management and challenge assistant for Dan Quinn this offseason, and Panthers owner David Tepper is wanting one for Ron Rivera. So Art Rooney II said he's looking into it too. He said having someone with that responsibility is important. Mike and I have talked about it. It would have to be somebody who is on the staff that has a role to fill there. Whether we have the right people, we're looking at that. It's fair game for discussion. I'm surprised this isn't already a thing.
Yeah, seriously. In my lifetime, the average NFL score is like 26-23. Most games are won and lost with 4 minutes to go.
Right. Obviously, I assume that we all assume this is the responsibility of the head coach, and apparently it is the responsibility of the head coach. But I don't know why in my mind, I imagine there was someone who just stands next to the coach is like, hey, we only got 2 timeouts left. That feels like a small role, but also very important, especially when you're looking at 0-9 and challenges. Yeah, that seems like a very big responsibility.
I got to figure out who it is. There's somebody else in the league that we know is a good coach that was bad with challenges. And I don't know who it is, but there's somebody out there.
Well,
my next guest just told me that Coughlin's good with challenges, so it's not. I thought Coughlin was bad. Somebody that's good I mean, Tomlin obviously knows what he's doing. He's been to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so much going on when you're a head coach. It seems like it would be smart to have someone just standing there, helping you, take that off your plate. Finally, after leading the Celtics to win over the Raptors last night, we talked about this a few minutes ago, Kyrie Irving made some reveals in the post-game, unprompted. Kyrie said he called his old teammate LeBron and wanted to apologize in talking about leadership. So this is what he had to say.
I apologize for being that young player that wanted to everything at his fingertips, and I wanted everything to be at, my threshold. I wanted to be the guy that led us to championship. I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be all that, and the responsibility of being the best player in the world and leading a team is something that's not meant for many people. And Bron was one of those guys that came to Cleveland and tried to really show us what it's like to win a championship, and it was hard for him. And sometimes getting the most out of the group, it's not the easiest thing in the world.
Don't kid yourself. LeBron